Hello guys, so welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the classroom. Today I want to talk about something, actually an indicator that when I was watching No Nonsense Forex videos, one of his top 100 was the SSL. And when I went to YouTube, when I went to Tradingview indicators, like when you type in SSL, you're going to get a lot of options, and most of them are basically that's not how you say it, SSL. You're gonna have like all these different, and most of them are basically SSL channel because that's basically what he's talking about, the SSL channel. Then I saw the word hybrid, and I was like, and I saw how popular it is, right? And I was like, interested. So I decided to check out the SSL hybrid, and hybrid obviously means when something's a hybrid, it's more than one, right? It's like a combination of things, put together. And if you've listened to him, you kind of know how he feels about all-in-one indicators. And because a lot of times one thing is based on another, and you kind of want some separate indicators to kind of like almost like checks and balances, and if they're all based on the same calculations, then it's an issue. But what I like about the SSL hybrid is it's actually not, when I thought about it. So let's look at that a little bit. So when you go to the SSL hybrid, you do have like different, like you have an exit indicator basically built in. Why do I say indicator? Because it's built into this indicator. You have a continuation type of indicator built in. You have your baseline. You have your ATR. You have a candle size, one ATR, which, it's neither. I mean, it's kind of good of a warning, but you kind of still have to do your ATR measurements. But you have your exit arrows. You got your baseline, like I said before. You have your continuation dots, like if I put them back up there. And you have your ATR bands, right? So if I put turn it all on, that's like a lot of things in one. Like there's a lot, not really a lot going on in a bad way. If you actually don't get so bogged down with so many things on your chart, it's a lot going on in a good way. So you pretty much have almost most of your things that you need, right? You need an ATR that helps us find our stop loss and take profits, right? So check, that's in here. You need a baseline. They give you kind of like two options for the baseline. You can choose the SSL, or you can actually choose the baseline itself. And if you're really, creative, you could possibly use the continuation as your baseline. You can turn the rest of it off and you can use your continuation. Like you literally could, you can keep ATR bands on. But let's say you want to use your continuation as your baseline, then you would go here and you would just turn it into a line. You would make it, super thick or whatever, however you want it to be. Right. So let's say I make it super thick. And it's turning colors, right? So as price crosses this, it doesn't necessarily turn a color when it crosses, but it crosses it. You got your cross down, and you may take your sell, and then when it crosses above, you may take your buy. And you see what I'm saying? Like that may work for you. It's just you have to back test it and make it work for you. I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm just telling you that there's so many components built in, but they're not really dependent on each other. Does that make sense? So they're all different individual moving averages. So in other words, instead of putting a bunch of moving averages on your chart, or one to give you an exit signal, one to give, if it crosses this, it give you an entry signal, one that tells you to continue. You have the ability to kind of like do it all in one when you use the SSL hybrid. Okay. So like, for instance, let me change this back to one. So ATR, you can even choose like, how you want your ATR to be based on, right? You can choose which type of ATR you want. As far as your baseline, like for me, I'm using the whole moving average, but you got the smooth, you got your simple, you got your exponential, and we ain't gonna go out through all of them. You got your DEMA, TEMA. This is a good one. All of them are good. It just depends on how you use them, how you want them. But all of these are different types of basically baselines that you could use when it comes to your baseline, right? So wait, what was this on originally? I don't even remember. But yeah, so I just use the whole moving average. That's what I use. I changed my base length, and I do that too because for screening purposes, right? I believe you can screen for the whole moving average, Forex screener. I'll look into that later. I use my continuation type. Now this right here uses because it follows it to me a little closer than the whole moving average does. And then I change my settings, and then the exit type, I still put that back on the whole moving average. But what I'm saying is you have all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different types of lines that you can put in your chart. Whatever this gives you, right? It's not dependent on what's going on the baseline. It's dependent on whatever this moving average, tells you, right? So they're not actually like, it's not an all-in-one where one calculation is based on another calculation. You're only going to get an exit signal when this is crossed, right? When this is crossed, or when this moving average tells you, you can't see it up here. The only thing you can see are the arrows, but it's still based on this invisible line that's moving, right? And this setting. And then you have other ways, other filters and other settings that you can adjust, right? So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying it is an all-in-one, because I still use several other indicators with it. But I know some of you guys maybe, starting out with a free account, or, a free account, a basic account, you don't have but so many indicators that you can use. You can really start with SSL Hybrid, turn off the features that you need, turn on the ones that you like, and then add to it, right? So like my newbies, I'm sorry, they just use SSL Hybrid and 2 other indicators. That's it. And within that, they're able to, find their trades and have a pretty decent system. So that's why I wanted to start with SSL Hybrid when the first thing I'm going to review or talk about on this channel with regard to your algorithm, because it may have a lot of the different components. As VP gives you different algorithms, different parts of the algorithm, you may find that you can use one and turn on and off different parts of it. Because like I said, their calculations aren't based upon each other. They have their own set of basic calculations built in, because it's based on different moving averages, to be honest with you. So let me give you an example. When you cross the baseline, right, you have a baseline cross. And what happens is, like, if I turn everything else off, and if I just show the baseline, and I don't show you anything else, nothing else, just the baseline. So turn everything off, right? So now how this works is, the functions work is, when the price cross the baseline, it'll turn it a different color. So if it's selling, it crosses it down, it turns it the color red, or this beautiful version of red. And when it's buying, when it crosses the baseline, it's bullish, and it crosses it turns it blue. That has nothing to do with the exit arrow. In case you didn't know, that has nothing to do with the exit arrow. That's built on something else. And let me prove it to you. When I come in here and I turn on the exit arrow, if it only worked that way, then you only get an exit arrow or an arrow when it crosses the baseline, right? But look here, you got an arrow here. This arrow's here. There's no baseline cross. So the exit arrow has nothing to do with the baseline. So it's telling you to exit, but it has nothing to do with its baseline. It has to do with the moving average that you're using, the setting that you gave it. And it'll exit right here before it crosses the baseline. This particular one tells you to exit, and it's crossing. This one tells you exit and crossing. This one tells you exit, but it has not closed across the baseline. So this one didn't even cross. This baseline cross happened here, and you got your exit signal here. I just wanted to show you that they're not built on each other. They have their own purpose, right? And yes, this is an exit signal. What I like about it too is you can actually set your alerts. So you can go here, and you can go to the SSL Hybrid, and you can actually say baseline buy entry, right? And so what happens is you'll get an alert when the price crosses the baseline. So when this happens, you get an alert, not because of an arrow. You get an alert because it crossed the baseline. You can do baseline sell entry, and you'll get an alert to sell when it crosses the baseline, right? That's how I figured out that they were different. One of the ways. Now you also have a buy continuation. That'll give you alert based on those dots I had on my chart, and that's a whole different thing, right? And then you have exit buy. So exit buy is this arrow. This arrow is telling you to exit the buy, right? And if you have an exit and sell, well, this arrow is telling you to exit the sell. It's saying if you're selling, this is the time to get out. You'll get an alert that says exit the sell, right? Then you have a sell continuation. So in here somewhere, you're going to get some dots that tell you to continue to sell, right? It's going to change colors. It's going to be purple, and it's going to go to white, and you're going to get an alert, all right? Then you have SSL cross alert. So I have never used that one. I'm assuming we're talking about this SSL1. So I turn the baseline off. Now, if price crosses this SSL, like here, then you're going to get an SSL cross alert, right? And then you're going to get an SSL2 cross alert, which is different. Like I told you, you could actually use SSL2, which is the continuation. So you can actually get a cross when that happens. That could be your exit signal. That could be your signal to buy, right? So what's the SSL2? Let me come down here and show you. That's the SSL2. So when that is crossed, you can get an alert. Let me show you what it means. Okay, so see right here. You see this dot, this price right here. Just say you're trailing it, because this is how I use SSL2. So say you're trailing it and you're sitting right here, and then you sit right here, sitting right here. Let's say you're sitting right here. Let's say you're right here, right? And then this it starts to buy, so it opens. Boom! Once it crosses here, you get an alert. It'll pop down here. That's how you know it's crossed. It'll pop down here, and now it's here, right? So when this cross happens, when it crosses with this price, because this is what it's sitting at a price, you'll get an alert, right? That's SSL2 cross. SSL2 cross alert. So that's, you just figure out, what piece works for you, how you want to use it. Some people have SSL hybrid. Like some people wait for, like, so they may have their baseline on, but they may not, even though the bar may cross the baseline, they may wait for the flip, right? Which just happens all at the same time. But there'll be times, like for here, there's a cross of the baseline. Let me see, get this a little bit. So if you really want to get technical here, this has crossed the baseline, because this is, if you don't use this whole wide channel, this actually has crossed the line, a baseline, right? The 50 whole moving average has been crossed right here, and it's closed above it. But this is not, if you're waiting for the flip, you're not going to get that buy signal until this happens. Not this candle, but this candle. It's going to give you the signal. So 2 candles later, as you see, this one clearly crossed across the baseline and closed above it, but still it didn't flip into here. And so then once it flips, that's where you get your buy signal. So some people wait for that. Some people are using the arrows as their buy and sell signal. Like for me, it's just an alert. If it's telling me to close my short, then of course buyers are stepping in. I need to know that, and that's an alert for me to start watching this pair for a baseline cross, right? So that might be how I use it. You can use it however you want to use it, but I just wanted to show you that this is a possible all-in-one indicator. Not all-in-one, because like I said, you're going to need the volume piece. You're going to need the ATR. You're actually going to need to be able to see what the ATR is, right? So you can make sure that hasn't gone too far. So I use a different ATR indicator for that piece, and I also have a second confirmation indicator as well. And then I have another indicator that lets me know, like, if I'm in like a sideways market, it gives me a different type of indication, right? That I like to look for, because it doesn't always trend. So that indicator helps me with that as well. So, I mean, and it depends on what you're doing. You guys may be doing order blocks. I draw mine in manually, but there's indicators for that. And then, you may see, well, I got this exit, arrow officially. I'm thinking, structure might be getting ready to break. And you may use it for a totally different way, a totally different purpose. So, have at it. But I just wanted to introduce this indicator to you. If you haven't heard about it, if you have and you still don't know how to use it, hopefully I've given you some ideas of how you could use it for you. If you want me to tell you something straight up, why don't you just use the SSL2 for trailing? How about that? If you're trying to figure out, just where you're going to put your price after candle has moved. So when this candle's selling and now this candle's done and this candle's open, put your stop right here and almost like follow a candle back. You know what I mean? So like we'd be sitting right here on this candle. But actually, yeah, this candle's done. So we're sitting right here. So for instance, price is getting ready to, if we're sitting here, we're trailing this, it's going to cross. When it crosses this dot, you get an alert. Actually, I see the dot under here somewhere. You get an alert, and now this thing pops down here and go from there. Right? Sitting here. So had you taken this trade, let me just tell you, so you taking, let's say your criteria is wait for it to flip, right? So you wait for the flip, and then you got that flip, and you put your stop. Let's say you put your stop above here. I don't know what your criteria is. Let's just say it's what it is. And you decide to take it after it flips, right? Like I'm going to be taking it like right in here. It's already, I'll be on this candle getting in, but you may get in on this candle. So you got that flip, you decide to sell, you put your stop way up here, and then you're trailing, right? So you're following it, and you're following it. And so your take profit is following these dots. you would be sitting at 1,005 pips, I believe. Let me go over here because this is where you'd be sitting at, right about there. This is 1,005, yeah, 1,005 pips. We took that February the 10th. Today is March the 12th, so a month later, over 1,005 pips, right? It actually got obviously more than that. If you had your order, if you knew what the order block was, you probably got more than that, right? That's totally different. But that's it. That's it. I just wanted to show you SSL Hybrid. I do have for different videos that kind of break out each piece a little bit better and give you some more ideas of how you possibly can use it. Depends, you guys. I don't know if you guys want that. I might put that in a little playlist. We'll see. But I do have other videos that kind of go through each individual piece and I kind of give you some ideas of how you can use it. I have also videos on my homeschool channel. So if you go look at that, that's what I'm using for the young ones that I'm trying to show. And like I said, I'm trying to use an all-in-one system for them to make it simple as possible. You can go over there and check that out as well if you want some more ideas of how you could possibly use it. Okay, guys, that's it. That's it for the SSL Hybrid. I think it's an awesome indicator. I'm not telling you to use it, but if you are looking for something, you're looking for a certain aspect, you may just want the continuation part of it, then, check it out. Check it out and use it just for continuation. You may want something to tell you to exit. Check it out. You literally can come up here and turn everything off except for the arrows, right? You can literally come and turn everything off and just use it to give you an alert to tell you when to get out your trade. That's good. You may want to use it for entry. So you can use it for alert to tell you to look for entry. That's what I'm saying. It has so many different components. You can turn off the pieces that you want and you can turn on the pieces that you like. Okay, guys, that's it. That's all. I promise you I'm done. Thank you for your time and happy trading. I look forward to see you in the classroom. Bye now.